And you weren't necessarily a wedding crasher. A wedding crasher knows that there's a wedding, and they get dressed up, and they show up. Right? That's crashing a wedding. This is completely different where you're just going about your day. For example, you're on a flight for Southwest Airlines, and something like this breaks out.
The bride and groom, and if you do have to use the lavatory, please use the one in the back of the aircraft.
So what they're saying is that if you have to use the lavatory, please use the one in the back of the aircraft, because there's something going on up in front where everybody's eyes turn, and then there was a man and a woman getting ready to get married.
Well, no, Southwest is known as the Love Airline, and today love is in the air. We have a couple on board, Tina and Roger, who are about to literally walk down the aisle.
I think that's kind of neat, because she's literally, as they said, walking down the aisle, except it's an aisle where you're bumping into the seats left and right. You don't have that at a traditional wedding. They had the song all lined up and everything. She's tearing up. She's dressed in white. I don't know why this was allowed to happen the way it is, but I mean, I'm not hating on it. I think it's pretty nice, kind of nice. Just by abstinence, you ended up at somebody's wedding. What's that story? 324-1220. I have one where I wasn't necessarily a wedding crasher because I meant to go to a wedding, but I showed up to the wrong wedding. This was, I mean, cell phones were invented. Eventually I called the guy. I never RSVP'd, so that's on me. And I show up to what I think is the wedding. So I'm sitting there and, I see a bunch of people that I don't recognize. And I think, well, they just probably have a large group of friends. But I think I would know at least one of them. Heck, I lived with the dude. And no. And then the groomsmen show up. And I'm like, I don't know any of these guys. Bridesmaids show up. I don't know any of these ladies. Then the groom shows up. And it was then where I realized it wasn't my old roommate. That was a different groom. So two thoughts through my head. Okay, I can't get up. I can't leave. And B, I probably just showed up to the wrong wedding. It looks like this is a place that has multiple weddings on the property every single Saturday, right? So I got to sit. And for about 20 minutes, I sat and I watched the ceremony of two strangers get married right on Rye Beach. It was a nice ceremony. I still remember to this day, but I felt so bad that I missed my roommate's wedding. So, finally when I got to service, I called the guy and I got a hold of him. I'm like, hey man, I know it's your wedding day. Sorry, I missed your ceremony. He calls me back and he said, because we didn't text, hey, by the way, my wedding is next weekend. You missed it by a week. And then his bride-to-be, and they're still married today. I hear her in the background. That's why you should have RSVP'd.
York County's morning show.